now continues.
I think I know a good character we could probably bring up that's appeared in a couple of episodes but has some significance.
That would be
Rubber Band Man. I mean, there's a few good reasons why I could say he's got some good things, but I'm gonna let you explain his origin thing a bit.
well, as his name clearly implies, he's basically made of rubber. He can stretch himself, shapeshift. He can even jump to extreme heights.
He's made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
Fucking hell!
Yeah.
God fucking damn it! He's actually was a villain at one point, but he actually had good reason to be. He'd been essentially his biggest run was to become a music star, and unfortunately he was getting ripped off every which way whenever he tried. And of course, he's the younger brother to one of the series' major supervillains, Ebon.
It was bad enough you had to run off and be a rock star. Now you're out there playing superhero and turning on your own? After all I've done for you, this is the payback? When Dad passed away...
Don't you mention him.
Why not? I'm the man of the family now.
Says who?
That's the way it works. We're blood. I'm supposed to be looking after you.
However, he eventually goes to anti-hero / true hero later on.
I had a debate with this about Hazard, and I'm gonna go ahead and take over. What I wanted to say was how Rubber Band Man's more anti-hero than true hero, because I'm not saying he's not one or has the capabilities one. It's more like what his choices are, in a way, because there are a few things he could have done as a true hero, but he chose not to. And most anti-heroes he chose to do on his own rules, because true heroes normally play by the laws and things. For example, that one time he could have actually captured D-Bomb, but he let him get away instead. Given how
past history.
This ain't no way to treat a brother. Don't hand me that brother stuff. You played me, Ivan.
So, if he was a true hero, he would have not really let that bother him. He would have most likely not probably just help him get arrested and stuff, but probably help him have D-Bomb get some kind of help with something. That's my opinion. But Rubber Band Man has done some things that I've sure has done some hero qualities, but not always full hero. He does things in his own ways. He can really show how he could be a hero, but he's also playing by his own rules all the time,
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, he has shown he trusts Static's of judgment more often than not.
I suppose we could put that account on hold for a while. Get out of my way! You're out of control, man. Cool out. Don't worry, I've got the shutdown procedure. Here, don't forget step 3. How'd you? I did the work.
If he's not really going to trust much other judgment, maybe even law officers or something, he'll have to trust someone.
Yeah, and I know he trusts Static's sister.
That's because they dated.
Isn't this exciting? My boyfriend's a superhero. I heard that.
I know.
You can't really put that out there, because that's just being biased for him. He has to trust her.
Well, to be fair, she gave him reason to trust people. Yeah, and also a little fun fact. Poor Rubber Band Man does suffer from dyslexia, which has been a real pain for him at times. It's actually explored in late in the series, and I think it was season 4 they explored this little issue for him.
Honestly, to me, it's good to see that they center episodes around him to see how far he's come from a villain to an anti-hero to a full-time hero.
It's nice to see. It kind of reminds me of Vegeta. Sorta. He started off as the bad guy, and as the story progresses, we see him grow out of that. Of course, he had reason to be bad, but it's nice to see him grow out of that evil phase and turn it to shift more into a superhero. That's really nice. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Dyslexia.
That's just a much more nice touch to it, because we're adding that disability part of it. He's not only, I'm sorry, I just don't want to sound racist. He's not only just a black character, he's a black character with a disability, and he's fighting fucking crime. That is badass.
That's part of the reason why Milestone was created, to bring more relevance to black characters, especially the black heroes.
It's incredible what he could do, and we didn't even know that he had that.
Yep.
No, I'm fine with it. It's gray and all, and it's good, but it's just, I find it's a little pet peeve of mine, just saying, just
they could have.
how is this? yeah, it could have been brought more or shown more. Like, I don't mind it. It's sort of like how they did with the Lunatics thing. Sorry to bring this up, but like most times when there's a pilot episode, they usually show their intro and how they became the origins. They did that like what 5 episodes in of season 1.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it when it came to Lunatics, but it was still a bit of a annoying pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, that's what it is with mine. Like, I wish they could have done it sooner than too much later, especially like nearing the last season and final episodes of it. You know, not to mention it will leave a lot of unanswered questions about it, or even raise more questions if they just say drop a bombshell of this or that. You know, sort of like if you put fans drop a bombshell of fans out of nowhere about this or that. Yeah, it's just like, what do you say to that, and what questions will you have for it? Because it's gonna raise a few more, you know.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, again, I have nothing against that he has dyslexia or anything at all. I just want to point that out. I just want to point out how they just kind of drop it out of nowhere, for me at least. Like, I'm pretty sure that they probably showed it or explained it in the comics, and that's fine.
I get the feeling, though, that Rubber Band Man, to be fair, was a very, I guess you want to say, secretive person when it came to his, weaknesses.
Well, yeah, but most characters secretive about every weakness. For example, like Static's is a well-known one. Weakness is like if he runs out of power, he can't really generate it.
Yeah, but I meant like more like, I guess you want to say, emotional weaknesses, and the dyslexia. Like, I think it actually adds more to his character, but we could probably discuss that a little later.
But I just want to point out the fact, like, yes, some characters have some hidden things and stuff, and they don't show later, but they sometimes just show it right in the episode, right at the beginning, most times, where they show the hidden weaknesses. But that's just my thoughts and opinions about it. But yeah, Rubber Man's cool.
High five? Not funny. Is too.
Shebang, you were going to go on to Shebang next?
Yep. Now, here's the difference. Now, here's a little tidbit about Shebang. Like, okay, for one, she's not an actual Bang baby. She's basically artificially created human, technically.
I wish I were a Bang baby.
You're not? Then what are you?
Her powers obviously include increased strength and agility, and because of both her past in general, her origins, and her parents' overprotective nature, she's been constantly forced to move around to avoid being captured and used as a guinea pig. She does occasionally team up with Virgil and Richie, and she actually wants to do something positive with the power she's been given. And while she had a lot of potential as a main character, she wasn't guaranteed much screen time because of mixed responses from both production team and the fans.
Reminder, this is back... Most shows back then always will have mixed reviews about certain characters. Some you'll hate, some you'll love, some you're on the fence about. You just don't know where you want to put yourself.
Especially if it has to do with female characters, like being in an all-guy team.
Well, it's not just that. There's been many times that people are fine with females in an all-guy team or something like that. For example, Kiva with Coop and Jamie. But if I want an example of like how most people's ratings or reviews affect certain things. Let's take a look at Lord Zed from Power Rangers. He was one of the most scariest villains ever appeared on that TV show. But when moms complained about it and stuff, he just turned into a weenie. And I'm sorry to drift off from different shows for examples, but it's kind of like how I like to show what I mean and make a clearer enunciation of it. You know what I mean? Shebang's interesting, but I can't really say much about her because they don't really give me much to work with. She only got
literally like 4 episodes throughout the entire series.
Correction, 3 episodes.
Actually, there was supposed to be 4, but yeah, like they don't give much to work with Shebang character development wise. Like she got a lot of character development, but I feel like she needed more screen time personally. But that's just me.
Like I'll admit she's cool and some stuff she does here and there, especially with the parts with her parents and things and all. But again, not much to work with.
Well, there was going to be a ship rant, but I kind of let that slide. I mean, to me, it was pretty nice to see like a female superhero actually fighting alongside the protagonist. I know we see that much in cartoons, but at the same time, we don't see that like anywhere like back then than like we do now. You know what I mean?
It was less frequent back then, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. She got me so confused the first few freaking minutes, thinking she was a freaking bang baby.
Trust
That is
me.
fair.
Oh
When
god.
I first saw Static when I was a kid, I thought the same damn thing. So you're not wrong to think that.
Oh, cool. She's a bang baby. Nope.
She's got like that Captain America super strength going on for her.
Yeah,
That's what I was
pretty
about
much.
to say.
Yeah, I
It's like-
think though she was kind of like a slight nod to Black Cat from Spider-Man. Though I could be wrong about that. Considering Black Cat has similar abilities.
She was more of the Captain America, or like you said, Black Cat of the Static Shock verse.
Yeah,
It's really
'cause-
nice and a twist because we'd expect everyone in here to be bang babies, and she's not.
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys are the absolute
Ribs! Crushing the ribs!
Sorry. Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
Well, we'll be happy to remind you.
Magoozy's almost done for the day, but Static Shock is still charged up. Codename Kids Next Door is coming up next. And later, the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy are on the way.